Apothecary Diaries, Season 2, Episode 9. We're fresh off that meeting. Look into the curse. Or Lady Anshi.
それまでに調べていただきたいのです。アンシ様のおっしゃる呪い。
Yeah, and I feel like there's another reason for this request simultaneously.
選定が見まかられて6年。
Not that long ago,
か
actually.
つて過ごしていた胸がなくなれば思い出させるものは墓所くらいか。
Yeah, there's something very symbolic about that.
ただし、一つお願い
Yeah, this
があります。
request, what was it?
お願い？
選定が住まわれていたという先ほどの部屋に入ることはできますか？
That sounds reasonable. Look for clues, but I feel like Mama probably already has her suspicions and is looking for something specific.
帝の許しを得てという話だが、皇太后様
Episode 33, The Late Emperor.
ありがとうございます、睡蓮様。お部屋を貸していただいて。
Do you have any insight on Lady Anshi? You've seen some stuff.
こちらの胸は久しぶりよね。ゆっくり休んでちょうだい。
Welcome home.
はい。最近はずっと翡翠宮だったもんな。
Yeah, she's very popular.
本ニャン様に会ったらどんな反応をされたやら。むしろ今までが甘かった方だけど。
Has she? Has she
どこ
really?
の宮好きかはっきりせず、よその宮にも顔を出す女官なんて。
It's a high level of trust. Yeah, like, I'm partly joking about the Mamo thing, but she does have a lot of privileges in this palace that, is not the safest place, the most hospitable, where it's an especially bad idea to have people coming in and out, too many poisonous cooks.
私自身、自分の立場がよくわからない。
Your position is Mao Mao, officially.
本は貴重だ。読める機会に読んでおかないと。趣味の合う本があるといいけど。
This is not it. Immediately.
結構若いな。
You can tell a lot about what someone's focused on by what kind of media they like. And I mean that in the best possible way, like not judgmentally at all. Because at least I think media is innately compelling because it is a vehicle for exploring something like truth. And there's just like truth in everything, right? So whether or not it lands will depend largely on our particular lens, which is probably related to our current needs. Like what's the meeting point? What are we on the cusp of? What are we currently exploring? What are the things that feel most drastic? And that can be love and romance. That can be love and romance for a very long time. I'm out judging a little bit though. What should we be reading about? Mushrooms? I guess that begs the question, what would Mao Mao be interested in a fictional realm with narrative? What is the most relevant to her now and the way she's thinking and what she wants and needs? There's a bunch of things that come to mind, like family and acceptance and having a place is one, which could be done separately or combined with the hero's journey thing of like, you have all this potential, you have all these dreams and this pent-up energy combined with your fears and anxieties about going out into the world and, seizing the moment and making something out of it. That wouldn't surprise me much either. Or we could just, not read it all. It's not like the fruit that I steal. This is different.
子供のおもちゃですか？
Oh, this is... I would hate this if I was Jinchi. Oh my god, this is terrible. What? It's like imagining my girlfriend coming over to my house and my mom showing her my toys? Traitor, you... This is classic mom sabotage out of love, allegedly. Suddenly. He's very beautiful. I often think on his beauty. He's still holding out in the Oxbazor, it seems. Right, yeah, I initially misread that. When he has a toy, he never gives it up. He gets very attached to it. I don't want that toy. Man, Gaoshin's been doing this a long time. No wonder he's tired. Well, why don't just let him have the same toys? Why do you gotta give him new toys? Yes, that's a good question. It sounds like weirdly arbitrary and cruel. Give the dude a toy, let him have one toy. If you just let it happen, typically, it'll run its own course organically. Wow, that's sort of deep cutting and terrifying for Jinchi. I mean, he's an interesting juxtaposition. He's very boyish. He's also very responsible and manly in his position. Now I really want to see it. This is deliberate. Odd question. Oh my god! Wait, but Mama doesn't know what that is. Mama hasn't seen that in the dream. Only we know Jinshi's dreams. A nice connection. So it was actually a real gold piece. It wasn't, symbolic. Although it may also be symbolic. Is it a toy, though? I don't know. Just a pebble, you say? The king dropped it. The emperor. Was it lead or something? Is it leadodendron? Wow. Uh-huh. Oh, he was trying to tell Jinchi something, or tell someone something. Lead paint? But I already have figured it out. Good enough for me. I believe you.
明日になれば皇太后様の言う呪い。
Is it ledendron? Is it ledendron again? I hope it's ledendron again. Help! I'm being poisoned? Is that the thing? Like he drops the thing in front of Jinchi? Watch out for whoever gave me this poison. There's poison afoot. Paint, I think, used to be dangerous, right?
ここだけの秘密だとおっしゃっていました。皆に知られたら取り上げられてしまうからと。
Was he licking the brushes?
本人は冷静を装ってるつもりだろうけど。
He's doing a poker face, but it's very evident.
知らないし、知りたいとも思わない。だが呪いの正体を暴くには証拠がいる。
I like how she's pretending she's just not interested. She's super interested.
先帝はずっとこの部屋で絵を描かれていましたか？
Doesn't look very ventilated.
触ってもいいですか？
She keeps asking this. I guess it's royal artifacts.
必死に拭き取ろうとしたような汚れもある。そしてその汚れは
That looks like
壁
paint.
に近づくほど増えている。
It also could be chemical? What the hell? This is the canvas? Maybe that is paper and it's painted on and then someone covered it up.
口が聞けない人を選んで使用人にす
For
ることは
secrecy.
ままある。
No betrayal.
小娘の話など聞く耳はないとい
He
う
might
ことか
not be well. He might be unwell.
いや、違う。
He might be afraid.
何かを隠して
There are
る。
a lot of explanations. It's
この
here.
壁紙、
Yeah.
剥いでもいいでしょうか？
The whole thing is painted, probably. Oh, that's nice. Nicer than I expected.
先帝の人間性に興味はない。ただ、国の頂に立ったために、本当の才能を生かすことなく亡くなったのだろう。
Well, I think we know Mamo's answer to that old media question of do you separate the art and the artist? Actually, it relates to what I was saying earlier about if art is an exploration of truth or beauty or whatever, you can judge it on the scale of that thing. I don't know if like artist worship is really that high up on that scale of like what the utility of art is. Terrible people can make beautiful, beautiful art. I think that's been established at least. Just like good people can make terrible, terrible art. He just wanted to be a painter. Wow, his personality comes through.
これは融黄という石を砕いて作った絵の具だと思います。
Yeah, that's dangerous, right?
そしてひどくには
Is that arsenic? It's an arsenic brick? Take this, my child. It's arsenic. Put it in your toy box. He was licking it. He's eating it like Van Gogh, I think.
融黄に含まれるひどくは少しずつ先帝の体に取り込ま
Or
れ
not.
てい
It
る
just
のでしょう。
he was using it, so it got in. He like paint mummified himself.
隠れるようにして絵を描き続けた。
His one escape.
帝ともあろうお方が絵を描くなんてとんでもない
This is just, we just covered this with Jinchi, right? You don't play with toys.
口の聞けない奴隷の従者に部屋の管理を任せ
I
て
don't want to hear it from you, from anyone.
まだ弾力があ
The
る。
irony is that dude probably loved
この
it.
下に一体何枚あるんだ。
Oh, the whole thing is just a repeated canvas.
この絵の女性は
So-called
分かってい
empress.
たのだ。自分の子が帝にふさわしい器で
She was sort of
はな
laying
いこ
down
と
the hammer.
だから偶然帝の地位を手に入れたアコを守ろうと
She
自
stepped
分の
in.
もとに権力を集めた。
That's a very charitable reading. It could be true. I'm not sure, or at least I don't remember if we, the audience, have received a lot of evidence to that. Her stepping in to protect her son from harm, because as we all know very well, the emperor is always in danger, is a perfectly plausible, understandable, sympathetic reason. But if you didn't know any better, you know, all the incentives are there also for it just to be enticing because of all the power. Not that they're mutually exclusive either. You know, there could be elements of both. People are complicated.
このために何でもした女帝が最後に与えたのが
Now, thinking about that dream is extra weird because he's handing Jinchi, who we've covered as someone who like is being pushed out of childhood into adulthood, his own version of his childhood thing, his creativity, his playfulness in this painted rock, I think it is, that turns out to be painted with arsenic. What is the gesture there exactly? It's almost like a cry for help from a kid.
私が言えるのはここまでです。
Mama also being very sympathetic here, I think, to a character who is sort of dark or has a lot of dark characteristics.
早急の彼方にいる誰かに問いかけているみたいだ。なんて感傷的になってるな。
Right, remember when we didn't care about this? I'm a little bit unclear on how she feels.
はあ、腹が立つ。
Yeah, right, that's the thing.
かすれていてもなお、あの方の存在感
Because I
が
think
大きいの
this is not nostalgia. She hates the emperor, right? And
私はこの絵の中にいるのかしら。
she hates the mother, or maybe it's complicated.
所詮私など
It can be love, hate, again. People are complicated.
偶然先帝の手にかかり身ごもった
Fell
幼い
victim.
娘。そう同情する声もあった。確かにそんな娘はいただろう。
Also, people can change, yeah.
帝の性癖のことはあらかじ
Oh,
め知って
interesting. It's very complex.
そして幼い顔の割には所長が来るのが早かった私を父は都合のいい道具として利用し
Yikes.
たのだ
That's maybe the worst of all.
父の思惑など知る由もなかった
ねえアンシ早く飾りをつけてちょうだい
はいお姉様
Or like maybe what she planned either.
ついに今夜帝がいらっしゃるのね
Oh!
この前
Call the
遠目にお見
Emperor.
かけしたけど
But not for me. Call the Emperor, but not for you. Wait, hold on.
この前遠目にお見かけしたけどとても美しい方だったの
But those sort of are conflicting statements. He's so handsome, also I couldn't see him that well. You know the 3Ds of attraction? Darkness, drunkenness, and distance.
お待ちしておりました
Ew. Look at you. All old.
さあどうぞ中へ
Ugh, don't touch me. Literally. That was extreme. I got cooties? What? What's with the arm rubbing? This guy's not okay. Wow. Yeah, this is worse than I thought. This is crazy. He's like not developed as a person.
次女ならば妃を慰めるか帝に比例を浴びるかすればよかった
But I have my own ambitions.
大丈夫でしょうか帝の目は確かにこちらを捉えた野心に満ちた少
Yeah.
女の目を
Yes.
幸運だったのは子が男子で女帝が孫であると認めてくれたことだろう
Wow.
よしよし
Oh, that's there she is, right?
以前女児を産んだ娘がいた娘は先帝の子だと言い張ったが先帝に知らぬと否定されその父親とされた医官が女児と共に追
Wait,
放され
what? This sounds super relevant. Wait a minute. Okay, who's this? Trying to slip this in here thinking I won't notice? I may not understand it, but I will notice it. There once was a girl who gave birth to a daughter. She claimed the daughter's was the late emperor's, but he doesn't know about it. So they said, no, the doctor is the father, and get the hell out. Take this baby and leave. That could almost certainly be related to all these attempts on, this line. Clear possibility for a lineage battle there. I'm the first one. Especially now that we've introduced royal mother lineage. It's not just paternal lineage that seems to matter in this kingdom or, historically here. It's tough because I'm not really clear on the timeline here exactly, but I mean, maybe potentially Suirei. I'm actually not quite sure how old she is even.
当時医官だけは皇宮内で虚勢を免れていたから
Oh, is that why we now castrate doctors? Right. Yeah, yeah.
不憫なことこの上な
Was he the first?
女児を産んだという娘は一人皇宮に残された彼女が皇宮を出ることは一生ないだろう
Wait, what? So she's still around. Who is that? Oh man, I want the timeline. I want the timeline so bad. So I can try to guess at this.
少女の外見で亡くなった私に
You're useless to me.
皇宮はどんどん大きくなり私と同じ使命を終
And I
えた
lost
幼い
him.
娘たちが次々にやってきた
Yikes.
女帝の傀儡としてのみ存在し幼い娘にしかまともに話しかけられない
Yeah, I wonder how you start seeing this differently over time. Or is there a continuity of thought there? Ew.
そんなものに忘れられるのが許せなかった
Uh-huh. Age is a cruel thing, man. It's such a trap. It's hard not to take value in it when you're young. You think you're special because you're young. And I don't know, in a certain way you are. There are multiple domains of comparison, right? There is a game that we're all involved in, we all play. If you have any sort of material wants in the world, it probably applies to you somewhere, somehow. And then there's the more enduring, the more important, the deeper. And that probably is the most important one. It's just hard to live there all the time. Especially growing up in the world. That's hard. I mean, it takes a lot of work. Likely we never fully arrive there permanently, So youth is great, but it's not a controllable thing. It's just time passes. And you gotta be really careful and I guess cognizant of where your self-identity and self-value comes from. It's perfectly fine. And I think it's beautiful to enjoy your youth, and to be happy that you're young. It's great to enjoy and appreciate what you have. But if that's your whole thing, I'm young and pretty, well, that's not something actionable. People are going to usurp you. You are going to be the old at some point, You're going to get your karma on that one because there was a time where you looked at the olds with pity and scorn and, they look stupid because they don't get your world. Yeah, that's going to be you. Have fun with that. It's interesting that her loathing for the emperor isn't what it looks like at first glance. It's not that she hated him because he was so detestable. She is angry at him because actually she loved him or loved her dynamic that came about through being with him or something. There was actually positive affinity there and it was the loss of that caused the loathing, not her being forced into it. I imagine that might be uncomfortable territory for some people. The idea that there could be some degree of intentionality or willingness of somebody her age to have done that. And I do think it's really important to be severe and have hard lines about this kind of thing. There's a good reason for that. But sometimes the way I see it being treated, the way we conceptualize it isn't that we have to consciously be careful of it and steward morality around it, but rather because it's so unpalatable, it's impossible, gives me a little bit of like dissonance for me, just from personal experience, because like I remember being a teenager and I definitely wasn't like innocent, you know. It's not that I had zero will or conception, even if it was super unrefined. It wasn't binary, right? It's not like zero will and thought, and then you cross a line and then like full will and thought, you know. Me at like 16, 17 was basically me now, except without the experience of those years. And I mean, this has come up before in the show. It's not a joke, you know, like the ability to be anywhere remotely close to the Emperor. It's one thing to conceive of it. I feel like it would be a whole different thing to be in that situation or like see that as a possibility. It might just completely take over your psyche. Oh, yes, actually. It's because you came into my room.
男に手をかけられた幼い娘たち。偉大な母である女帝よりも深く思い出につなぎ止めるために。
I guess all attention is good attention, that kind of thing.
心を壊してあの胸に。
Oh, you broke him. You did curse him then. You cursed him in a very real way.
その絵もとても大事にしていたけれど。
Why?
睡蓮に捨てるように言った。
Oh, because it's your young visage and it hurts?
私が先帝にとって必要ない。
Maybe, yeah. That's the past. You're going to get usurped. This thought does emerge, you know, just for me personally. I started traveling and living abroad when I was really young. And now enough time has passed where I see the younger generation coming in, you know, and I see myself in them. And there's a little bit of like that pang of, oh man, those were great times. And there's something that would have been really beautiful about being able to live that forever. And also just a little bit of frustration that something like they probably don't even know how good they have it right now. And they don't know how temporary it is. But that's also okay. You know, it's palatable because it's not my whole life and my whole thing. It was a moment in time that I'm happy with. You know, I really enjoyed it. And I'm grateful that I had it. And now I have this moment in time, and I also really enjoy this moment. And I'm happy with the things I can do now that I wasn't able to do back then. And the things I have now that I built, you know, that take time, that I'm really grateful for. The lessons that I've learned that I didn't know back then, that, you know, I got through those temporary experiences, etc. There's a certain bittersweetness to it. What do you think, Jinshi?
こんなものを拾いました。これが有王なのだそうです。
Uh-huh. From my dreams.
睡蓮がようやく返してくれました。
Can you explain that moment to me? What was actually going on? Can I get like an adult's perspective on it? Not that you were even an adult yourself.
不義のこと言われようと取り違えられた子であろうと大切な子に違いないのに。
Yeah, it sort of doesn't matter.
この石を拾ったのはその絵を覚えていたからでしょう。
捨てろと言ったはずなのに。
Oh, maybe he was trying to hand it to her? Weird. It's a very difficult, complex episode. Because, yeah, we also have Jinchi, right?
あの時あの方は何を
Yeah,
伝えよう
what
と
did that all
したのでしょ
mean?
う。
What was he trying to pass on?
知ろうとしないことを選んだ。それよりもあなた、ずいぶん面白い女官に目をかけているようですね。
I take it we have your approval now on
な
Mao.
かなか使えるものです。
No poker face here.
それが全てではないことくらいわか
Not
る。
hard to tell if you're with Jinchi for any sufficient amount of time.
お気に入りは隠しておかないと誰かに隠されてしまうわよ。
Mm-hmm. I feel like I need to watch that whole ending again. It's just so packed. Okay, firstly, this seems to imply that at least from her perspective, she is confident that Jinchi is her son? Because there's the whole switcheroo stuff, which, if true, would mean that Jinchi is not her son, but is Adua and the current emperor's son, right? Though that would make Jinchi her grandson. So I guess we've solved nothing. She could know that and, like, love Jinchi as a grandson. There's a lot here. I mean, this is a very packed episode. Like, it also adds a lot of significance to the whole, like, don't play with your toys, Jinchi, in the context of this other emperor who just never grew up and was just like a weird, creepy child his whole life. Sort of in contrast to what I was saying earlier about, like, just let people grow out of it. He never grew out of it. Though, like, who knows? Maybe it was because they pushed a little bit too hard on that. But it definitely can't explain why they'd be so preoccupied with, like, please don't stay a juvenile forever. There's some generational trauma here. I'm also trying to decipher this line about hiding your favorites. Maybe she's in on it and, like, hiding Jinchi through this whole thing. You know, the brother instead of the heir. Maybe he's her favorite. Why did the old emperor give them the colored rock with her colors? Maybe trying to repent towards the end of his life, trying to reach out to Jinchi. I don't know. It's very weird. Then you have this crazy complicated dynamic of Anchi and the emperor, who is just this undeveloped juvenile person in a position of a lot of power, and it just gets really, really dark, which, you know, you just assume is a unilateral force for the bad against these unsuspecting victims, only to find out that Anchi sort of, you know, as aware as someone can be at that age, was somewhat deliberately approaching him out of her ambition. Obviously, like, that conception changes over time with adulthood, and you look back and like, oh my god, he's just a predator. And you imagine a lot of that desperation turns to sickness at the whole thing, but it doesn't seem like it's entirely sickness at it, it also seems like a little bit of confusion about former feelings. I think a lot of the difficulty about that is not the obvious hatred for him, because that's easy, but I think a lot of it probably comes from guilt about her own complicitness in some of it. I think that's partly what that confession serves as, you know? If people really knew what I had done, that sounds like regret and responsibility for a lot of the things that went wrong. She played a role in that herself, so. And also you have the fact that Suiren, like, saved that painting, right? Which is crazy in itself, because what does it represent? You know, there's so much there, but also that's maybe Suiren loving her and caring about her. Very interesting, very complex episode.